The forecast this year is actually the highest forecast since they've been making those kinds of seasonal forecasts.
Flagler County's emergency management director is calling for residents to be prepared for an active hurricane season.
County Emergency Manager Jonathan Lord says the El Nino pattern in the Pacific is coming to an end, which is conducive to tropical storm development.
We have the record warmth in the ocean, at least since we've been tracking temperatures, the Weather Service has been tracking temperatures. And then we also have the lack of or reducing wind shear. So there's another factor that increases the chance for hurricanes to develop. So those two things are very key. So that's really got the weather experts very, very concerned that we're going to have a very active hurricane season.
Lord says Flagler County has had a run of good luck.
We do evacuations because the storm is coming, and the storm has a name to it, like Idalia last year, or a couple years ago we had Ian and Nicole, and they were hurricanes somewhere. They were not, the impacts here in Flagler County were not hurricane impacts. Same thing with Matthew and Irma that had even more damage than Ian and Nicole had in our community. Those were both hurricanes. They were both very strong hurricanes at some point in their cycle. But here in Flagler County, we truly only had tropical storm-like impacts.
But he says that's no reason to make assumptions for this season.
Just because we haven't had one in memory, in people's typical memory or recent memory, doesn't mean we're immune to it. Anywhere in Florida, including Northeast Florida or Central Florida, Flagler County, has the potential for a Category 5 landfalling storm.
If you haven't made your preparations yet, the state's disaster preparedness sales tax holiday ends Friday. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Daryl Moody.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, June 12th.
Great proactive policing over the weekend by our deputies.
Last weekend was a busy one for the Flagler County Sheriff's Office.
See Something, Say Something by a McDonald's employee led to an arrest. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
See Something, Say Something caught an individual without a driver's license that lied to deputies and had plenty of reasons for why she had her sister's and father's prescription medication. That did not fool our deputies, and they identified her, and she was arrested for possession of a controlled substance providing a false name to a law enforcement officer. He was taken to the Green Roof Inn.
And a Jacksonville woman with 8 convictions was arrested in Bunnell.
A Jacksonville woman was stopped driving her sedan and found that her driver's license was suspended for 5 years for being a habitual traffic violator. He found out she shouldn't have come to Flagler County from Jacksonville.
And a constant traffic violator was also caught.
Proactive patrols again arrested another habitual traffic violator who had also had his driver's license suspended for 5 years. He was also on high-risk sex offender probation.
Flagler County Sheriff's Office deputies made 42 arrests and handled 680 calls for service and made 168 traffic stops. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. How did Main Street and the arts come together?
I'll give you a hint. It involves the Flagler County Cultural Council. Julia Trujillo is on the board of the Flagler County Cultural Council. She's also the executive director for Ormond Main Street, Inc. She said on a recent episode of Lifeline that Main Street, Inc. connects art with towns, cities, and counties. She said there is a connection between economic development and arts and culture.
Everywhere that we look and we see the public art or we see a push by a county government or city government to support these things, you see economic development.
Trujillo said that site selectors, those who decide where to put businesses, look for arts and quality of life when they make that decision. Lifeline is on WNZF Saturday mornings at 9, and it's on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, how will FC3 affect Flagler County? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Food Truck Tuesday returns to Palm Coast next Tuesday, June 18th, this time benefiting the Flagler Humane Society. Founded in 1980, it was the first shelter of its kind in Flagler County. The Flagler Humane Society has saved over 2,100 animals in 2023 and facilitated over 700 adoptions in 2024. Pet adoption opportunities will also be available at the event, which takes place next Tuesday, June 18th at Central Park in Town Center, starting at 5 p.m. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.